He didn't invent the computer. He didn't finish college. He wasn't even welcome in his own company at one point. Yet today, his vision powers every pocket desk and screen around the world. This is a story of Steve Jobs, a college dropout who built a $3 trillion empire. Steve Jobs was born in 1955 in San Francisco and was adopted by a working-class couple. From an early age, he was curious, not just about how things worked, but how they could work better. At 17, Steve went to Reed College in Oregon, but after just one semester, he dropped out, not because he was lazy, but because he didn't want to spend his adoptive parents' savings on something that felt meaningless. So he began learning in his own way. He audited the classes that interested him: calligraphy, design, and Eastern philosophy. He slept on floors, collected soda bottles for food money, walked miles across town for one good meal a week at the Hare Krishna Temple. Most people saw a dropout. He saw an education. Years later, he'd say, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward." After college, he traveled to India seeking spiritual clarity. He came back barefoot, Zen-focused, and full of ideas. Then came the garage. Steve Jobs and his friend Steve Wozniak began building computers in his parents' garage. No suits, no funding, just a dream and a few spare parts. In 1976, Apple was born. Their first computer, the Apple I, was handmade. Their goal wasn't to sell machines. It was to put power in people's hands, to make computers personal. By 25, Jobs was worth over $100 million. But money was never the goal. He cared about design, simplicity, and changing the world. But with growth came tension. In 1985, at just 30 years old, Jobs was fired from Apple, the very company he had founded. Most would have disappeared. He didn't. Steve said, "Getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me." Because in his darkest hour, he created his greatest work. He started Next, a company that would later change the future of software. He bought a small animation studio called Pixar and turned it into a storytelling empire. Pixar's first movie, Toy Story, was a revolution. It won hearts, broke records, and reminded the world of job genius. In 1997, Apple was near collapse. It needed saving, so they brought back the man they once pushed out. And he didn't just return. He rebuilt. He stripped the product line to its core, introduced the iMac, then the iPod, then came 2007, and with it, the iPhone. Jobs walked on stage in his black turtleneck and jeans, smiled, and said, "Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone." And he did. The iPhone wasn't just a phone. It was computer, camera, music player, and internet device, all in one. It changed communication. It changed business. It changed the world. Under Jobs' leadership, Apple didn't just become profitable. It became legendary, a symbol of creativity, design, and fearless innovation. But behind the brilliance was a man battling cancer. Even while sick, he worked on the iPad, the Apple Store, and even the spaceship-like Apple Park campus. He wasn't just building devices. He was building a legacy. Steve Jobs passed away in 2011. He was just 56. But in death, his vision only grew stronger. Today, Apple is the world's first $3 trillion company. iPhones are in over 1 billion hands. And the seeds he planted still bloom in every product, keynote, and design. He was fired. He was doubted. He was told he was too difficult, too obsessed. But Steve Jobs believed that the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. He once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Stay hungry, stay foolish." And that's exactly what he did. From a garage in California to the hands of billions. This is the story of Steve Jobs. Thanks for watching.